Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in Sophomore English. We are in the MyPerspectives Volume 2. We are in Unit 4, All That Glitters. And we now turn on page 434 to Tracy K. Smith's The Good Life. We will start, first of all, back a couple of pages on 431 with some background information before we then go to Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3 reading of this text.
The Good Life by Tracy K. Smith. Poetry. Background.
431.
The good life is a stock phrase that can be traced back to the ancient Greek philosophers Epicurus and Aristotle.
Mark it.
They both developed theories about what it means to live a good life and explored whether such a life would involve happiness, moral righteousness, wealth, useful work, or something else entirely. About the poet. Tracy K. Smith, born 1972, teaches creative writing at Princeton University. Prior to that, Smith held a prestigious Stegner Fellowship at Stanford University. In 2012, Smith won a Pulitzer Prize for her book, Life on Mars, which describes a futuristic world that nevertheless has a great deal to say about current times.
Page 434.
The Good Life by Tracy K. Smith. When some people talk about money, they speak as if it were a mysterious lover who went out to buy milk and never came back. And it makes me nostalgic for the years I lived on coffee and bread, hungry all the time, walking to work on payday like a woman journeying for water from a village without a well, then living 1 or 2 nights like everyone else on roast chicken and red wine.
Now, what makes this poem interesting is that the speaker of the poem, and again, we mustn't assume that it's Tracy K. Smith. Of course, maybe some of you will say it might be her. The point here is that we're being reflective about what the good life actually is. Notice we begin with the word some, and that's a key word for this poem. When some people talk about money, now, let's circle the word money, because we're going to make a distinction here between money and value, between the things that we actually care about, and then the money that maybe we long to possess. Notice, they speak of it as if it were a mysterious lover. Now, this is an interesting simile, a comparison using like or as. What does it mean to say that some people talk about money the way they talk about a mysterious lover? Jump off to the side. What do you think Smith means? Brilliant here, right? What do you think it means when she says, some people think of money, they talk about money the way they talk about a mysterious lover? In other words, enigmatic, not sure, not actually sure of what they want to say about this mysterious lover. Then continuing, the mysterious lover who went out to buy milk and never came back. In other words, you think you have it, but then it's gone. This is the nature of money. Again, our topic for Unit 4 is all that glitters, right? And notice, and it makes me nostalgic, in other words, talking about money. It makes me nostalgic for the years I lived on coffee and bread. Well, why did she live on coffee and bread? Because that's all that she had, right? Notice, hungry all the time. Now, there's the phrase of the poem. In other words, physically hungry, yes, but possibly hungry for more than that, hungry for value. Notice, walking to work on payday, and then another simile, like a woman journeying for water from a village without a well. This is a brilliant word picture. In other words, needing so desperately something like water from a well because you don't have any water available to you where you live. Then, living 1 or 2 nights like everyone else, on roast chicken and red wine. In other words, you can read this poem so many different ways, as is the good life. Of course, summarized really quickly at level 1, but more importantly at level 2a. What do you think it is that Smith is saying about the good life? And the fact that the good life is something that you don't necessarily possess as much as you get to experience, right? In other words, in the moments when you have a little bit of chicken and wine, that is enough to convince you that your life is worth living. Fascinating idea. At 2b, Notice the poem's construction. The 10 lines of the poem shall begin with when some people, but not herself, and then, or themselves, the speaker of the poem, whoever it is. And then finally at line 4, it makes me nostalgic. Nostalgic means what? The key word of the poem. Well, looking backwards. Meaning what? Well, now the speaker of the poem probably has some monetary value, probably has some money, and now can look back to a time when, man, you didn't have much. A little bit was something amazing because you got to experience it just briefly. It came and it went. At 3A, how do we relate this to other texts? I want you to write down the great Emily Dickinson's poem, Success is Counted Sweetest, where she'll make a similar argument. Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. What she means by this is, it isn't the winners who understand winning, it's the losers. It isn't anybody that can go for a drink that understands thirst. It's the person who goes without a drink for a really long time. In other words, the people who understand the value of money are the people who live without much money. And when they finally acquire a little bit of it, they understand, I finally can get a little bit of chicken and a glass of wine. And that just makes the experience remarkable for me. Finally, at 3B, to own a poem like this, what is the good life for you? And to what degree do you make the difference between money and value? Thank you.